welcome to another ZBrush for iPad video. In this video, my goal is to focus on ZModeler. Yep, ZModeler is here. If you go over into your brush tool set and you go over to topology, ZModeler. Nice, right? Bust out to get the armor, but my process is I will start with I'll block out a basic body shape, and then I'll sketch in what I want the armor to be like. If I go here to wireframe, so I pretty much sketched out the armor, and then once I sketched out the armor, I duplicated it. I go all the way here. I duplicated it, and then I started to extract pieces out of it. Let's frame this. I started to extract each piece of the armor, and then from there, as I extracted each piece, I grouped and sliced and ZModeled everything to, let's turn on wireframe. Future Bradley here. Thought I'll add this part in the video on how I extracted armor for my base sculpt. So I'm just gonna go in and mask out an area, and then from this mask I'm gonna polygroup it. The goal here is to make sure everything is clean, that I'm getting all the flyaway areas, because when we go in, we actually press ZRemesher, we're gonna get rid of a lot of it. So we're just gonna clean this up. Making sure that I'm getting all the areas that I want to extract out. And I'm going to basically take my mask, and everything that's not it is going to be deleted. So I kind of duplicated this tool, so you can consider this base body here like a trash tool, because my main goal is to take out all of this area through masking. Just going in, cleaning it up, making sure all the areas are captured. Sometimes I might miss areas when I use pen mask, so I'm just gonna use mask lasso to make sure I grab everything. Yep, it's clean for the most part. So I'm gonna select it, delete hidden, so all the extra parts get deleted out. And now I'm gonna go in and use the slice curve tool to make sure I have some nice clean edges on areas that I want to have a crease on. So slice, I want this area to be sharp, and then I want the other slice area to match the contour. I'm just gonna mirror, so I have both sides. Just gonna delete the other side so I don't have to worry about it. Delete hidden. Right now I'm just getting the base shape. Gonna delete out these extra areas that I don't need. Before I did a store history, so I can project back if I need to. On my settings for ZRemesher, I'm making sure I have polygroups, make sure I'm freezing borders, making sure I have half, Taking off smoothing is important. Right now I see that smooth group is selected, but I don't want the smooth groups to be there. Later on I'll probably go in and slide that off. That way everything's not going to get moved out of the way. Then I'm masking my feature, masking my crease so I can get my borders to be smooth. So I'm going to smooth polygroups by mask borders. Now what I'm going to do, I realize that I have not made one of the slices that I need to keep the contour of the area that I need, so I'm going to end up slicing it to put everything back in place. And right now with ghost mode on, and transparency, I'm able to trace out my shape. I'm just going to add additional slices in these sections so I can make sure when I go to ZRemesher again that they stay. And I'm just matching the silhouette. What's great with duplicating your original base body or base mesh, you can pretty much match the shapes with your new geo. Of course, you can always go in and re-topologize everything by hand, but you know, this is quick and simple way to get it going and be a little quick with it. As you can see, I sliced and I polygroup sections that I wanted to have, and now I have a nice clean surface to start to play around with some ZModeler settings to demo the tool and also show you some settings that I like to have on Modeler. What's great about this iteration of Modeler on iPad, they have this new functionality where you can set presets. So if I go here, you have a list of presets that you can create based off of brush settings. And there are, let's do a screenshot here. So there's like 4 main presets that I'm going to look at creating right now. I'm going to create something on that only moves edges. And let's say maybe faces too. I will need something that will allow me to split edges / cut edges. And then we're gonna need, I'm gonna set a modeler brush that will allow me to stitch. And maybe I'll set one for extruding. Don't need this. So if you're used to desktop, what you normally have to do is when you're using ZModeler, you'll get the little the little sub menu, and then you have to then click here, click the action, and click the modifier that you want in the action. But here on the iPad version, you can set a preset. So what I'm going to do, let's go here to my layers. Let's go here to this version. Hide this, hide all this. Now we can leave that. As you can see, I got a lot of tools here. Go here. And I'm just gonna, and if you realize that I'm not touching, I put the action menu up here because I have a toolbox and I like to use it on my iPad. So if you see, you know, this is in an awkward position, it's because I'm not using it, but it's there for you to take a look at so you can see what I'm pressing. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select these faces, hide, and I put on a shortcut where I can split. I'm going to split hidden. So now I have these faces separated. And what I'll do is I'll probably hide this body for now. Okay. Another shortcut that you might want to consider adding on your quick menu is double and flip. As you know, when you're using ZModeler, sometimes you might need to turn double off so you can see which way the faces are going, and sometimes you might want to flip the faces. If you don't know where that's at, if you go to customization, quick menu, and if you go to display properties, you'll see double, and you have flip, and you can just go and drag it onto your custom UI. Done. All right, so let's take a look at some of these ZModeler functions. So just like on desktop, if you were to press the spacebar while you have ZModeler open, you'll get all the functions. So this is the new menu or sub menu that pops up when you press the spacebar or press the sub menu button here. So I'm pressing that. And what I want to do is set my custom presets of things that I like to always have, so I don't have to always go in, select, and then go on and then like select this and then select the modifier and things like that. So the first thing I'm going to focus on is creating my slide edges preset. So I'm going to do slide edges and slide verts. So we'll click here. I have edge. And then I'm going to change it to slide. So we'll go here. I want slide. And now that I have slide, you see this little question mark here. Now it's set to slide. And if I go here, slide. And I want to be able to slide verts too. So I have the vert selected. And I'm going to go to slide again. Now you see the symbol for this symbol here. Let's see. Let's do a screenshot. Let's do a screenshot. So we have these new actions here. So this is a vert, this is an edge, and this is a face. So face, and this is edge. So these are the two new symbols. So, but I don't want to have to always go in. So if you see here, only thing I can slide, slide, slide. But I don't want to always go in and have to select this menu every time. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add it to a custom. I'm going to save, I'm going to write in, this is slide. Haha. This is why I like to use keyboard and not write. Keyboard. I'm gonna do slide vert, and I'm gonna do underscore and E for edge. So vert and edge, and I hit save. So now if I go and I go to modeler, I should have my preset listed. It's not listed. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna create a preset. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna here. This is my slide preset. Save. So now I have a preset that's called slide. Awesome. So whenever I want to get in here and straighten my edges, I can. Because this will drive me nuts. Okay, cool. So I want to make another preset. So in this preset, I want to go to edge, and I want to be able to split edges. Split an edge. So I go here, tap, tap, wait. So if I select an edge, it'll split, but I want my edge, I want to be able to split an edge and split a vert for selecting. So I'm also select the vert, and I'm gonna go to split, and now I can use this as my cut tool. Oh. So scratch that other one. I want to make a brush for splitting / slicing. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna hold an edge. I'm going to go to slice mesh, slice points, slice, slice. Now I can slice. All right, but when I slice, I don't like to have my edges creased. So I'm going to go to crease, do not crease. So now when I split, right, and I'll be able to mirror to the other side, but now I'll be able to split and not have creases. But I also want to be able to split on a face too. So here, split, edge. So this will be considered like my knife brush if I wanted to cut edges. So, and I'm going to name this preset. I'm gonna name this preset cut. Save. Nope. So as we create our presets, so there's one thing to keep in mind when you're creating these presets is that you may need to save two sections when you do it. So if you go to edge, there's my cut and there's my slide. But if you realize, if I go to my vert mode, there's no slide, right? See, my edge has a cut and a slide. My vert only has a cut. So I need to make a preset for my face here so I can quickly just go to slide again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to actions, And I'm gonna go to slide. And now that I have this set to slide, I'm gonna save my preset here. Preset, create, and I'm gonna name this one slide. Save. And now, if I go to my face mode, let's say, I want to make sure I'm going to do a lot of cleaning and straightening up, and I want to just focus on sliding with ZModeler. I'm just going to change my vert to slide. I'm going to change my edge to slide. Right? That saves me from having to go into the actions menu, slide, and click here. Now I just have my slide. Right? You can go in and clean up and straighten your topology. Everyone may not be like me. I'm kind of particular when I'm doing this. I could be here all day straightening up edges. All right. So far we have my sliding verts and sliding edges, my split, but now I want to worry about stitching verts. Right, so I'm gonna go to vert here, and I'm going to go to stitch, and now if I go here, I can stitch. Right, and I'm gonna save this as a preset as well. And you always have your modifiers at the bottom right here, so it says stitch 2 points and then to endpoint. You can change it to midpoint or start point, which is cool. So midpoint, right, if I wanted to, it'll split these right, it'll stitch these right in the middle, so I'll have an even, they'll split the difference and it'll be in the middle of the two faces. Right, so what you could do is you can create a stitch that has a midpoint. So I'm gonna create this one. Let's see, create, stitch. I'm gonna call this stitch. You have to excuse me, I'm using my pen to tap on this. Stitch, and I'm gonna do underscore. This is for midpoint. So save. Right, now I have that midpoint. Go back to actions. I'm gonna save another one. Endpoint. Stitch. And I'm just gonna name this one regular stitch. Alright, save. So I got my stitch M and my stitch, my normal stitch, and I wanna rearrange this. So if you hold, you can drag it around. If you slide it this way, you can delete it. If I'm sliding to the left to delete, right? So now I have my 2 stitch, right? If I want to quickly, now I want to change this to my presets and I want to stitch to the middle. So now I'm going to stitch this to the middle. Super cool functionality there. So on my stitching, now I'm gonna worry about my extrude. All right, so the next setup we're gonna do is I extrude a lot and beveling. So, but I wanna be able to, so we're gonna go to face and I have it set to extrude and single one-sided poly. Yep, we'll leave it like that. And that's really cool. So, one thing to keep in mind, so as you have this is face, edge, vert, as we talked about, when you click on it, you have your modeling action, a topology action, alignment, scale, and selection. And if you're familiar with ZBrush for ZModeler on desktop, this is a very clean and straightforward way to use these things. So I'm gonna go to Extrude, Polygons, and I think we're gonna start with just that. Let's see how this works. So one thing to keep in mind, I'm gonna go to my shortcut menus here. We don't have double on, right? So I like to extrude in the reverse, because if we look at my model that we have, right? I already have the surface of where I want the gear to be. I need to add thickness, but I want to keep my poly group. So I want to extrude in the opposite way. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna extrude down, right? I have my thickness, and this is why I advise to shortcut flip on your hotkey. So now I have my thickness that I want. Probably gonna make it extra thick. We're gonna go thicker. And one thing to consider, to keep in mind, so if I press the space bar over my faces, I'll get the modeler options, but if I hold it away, now I get my shortcut menu. So as long as you're not touching on the face, you won't get the new modeler sub menu. I'm gonna go to outside, and I'm gonna flip these faces. Now I have the thickness that I want. And next thing I'm gonna wanna do is bevel this guy, right? Touches. A little finicky for me today. So now I'm gonna wanna bevel. So I'm gonna go to the edge. Now I'm on the edge. I'm gonna click for the sub menu. Right now it's set to my shortcuts, but I'm gonna add a bevel shortcut so I don't have to keep clicking around. So I'm gonna go on my edge action. I'm gonna go to bevel. And I typically normally just do a single bevel when I bevel. Yeah, we'll just leave it like this. And I'm gonna add this to my preset so I don't have to click around for it. Preset, add, and this is bevel. Save. See, now that we made this bevel, my edge here is not as clean as I want it. So that's a time to slide, and then I'm gonna slide edges and I'm gonna slide verts. Clean this up a bit. And another thing that I lost when I made my bevel was my crease that I had before. So I'm gonna fix these edges really quick. Another thing that I like to do so I sometimes don't like accidentally hit things or move things, I like to lock my view sometimes. That kind of helps me out. Now that I have this edge, I'm gonna go over to creasing. And we will crease the whole loop. So I should have my crease back. I'm gonna crease this loop. I'm gonna crease this loop as well. And we have dynamic here. So if I go to my tool palette, geometry, turn on dynamic. If I go to creasing, set my crease level. Let's turn off wireframes and get a good idea what this looks like. And we can set our smooth level. And also I put my creasing on a shortcut menu too. No, we don't want it that harsh. But still needs a lot of work. So I lost the shape that I originally had. So let's go back before we beveled it and let's really get a good look at this shape. So really what we want to do bring this in. I'm gonna flip it. So instead of just doing the bevel the way I did it before, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna insert an edge. So we're still set to crease. If I go here, if I go to insert, single edge, I'm gonna insert an edge here, I'm gonna insert an edge here, and I'm gonna insert another edge here. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this edge. So I go here, go to delete, edge loop complete. Now I have the thickness that I want. Let's do another. Let's do an inset. Let's see what that looks like. So the wacky thing that's happening that I need to fix is if you see this these center edges, right? They're doing like this weird heart looking thing, or this curvature here. If I turn on dynamics, let's see how bad that really is. Let's see if it'll cause me any problems. Yeah, see how you can still see that lumpiness here in that shape? So we definitely need to clean that up. So in case you don't know how creasing works inside of ZBrush, so as you can see right now, my creasing is set to 0. If I look at my dynamic subdivision, it's set to 4. That means that my creases will hold, or my creases will be most effective from subdivision from 0 to 4, and then after that it'll get much sharper. So let's go to crease. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then as I go up, right? So in case you don't know how creases work inside of ZBrush, so your crease starts to at subdiv 4, right? Have a harsh crease. Anything after that, or I can say, hey, you know what? I want my crease to hold until 4, and if I increase my subdivision past 4, it'll start to soften. See? So now see how I'm gonna put my subdivision all the way to 7, and if I want a harsh crease, I would have to change my crease level. Crease all the way to 7 for it to show. Right? 7 or above. Thanks for checking out this video, and hopefully you learned something, and we'll catch you on the next one. Please like and subscribe to the Stylist League, and look forward to future content for ZBrush for iPad. Have a good one.